Okay, a very good afternoon, everyone, to all the respected member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. I, Chartered Accountant Mridul Mehta, would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the President of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, CA Ranjit Agarwal ji, to the Vice President, CA Charanjit Singh ji Nanda ji, our Chairman of Committee of Member in Practice, CA Rohit Ruvatia ji, and the Vice Chairman of Committee in Member in Practice, CA Umesh Sharma ji. Today, I am so happy that our eminent speaker and the most dynamic personality, CA Nitin Alsiji, is with us on the dais. CA Nitin Alsiji is a practicing chartered accountant from last 26 years. He has a wide experience of handling assignments of large businesses nationally and internationally. He is a professional chartered accountant. He passed his CA in 1996. He is also a cost and management accountant, passed in 1996. He is also a certified holder in mergers and acquisition from Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. He is also holding diploma postgraduate in the field of enterprise risk management and information system audits. He is also holding certificate courses run by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India in the field of forensic audit and concurrent audits. He is a graduate, a Bachelor of Commerce. He is also having a wide practice areas, including enterprise risk management services, risk-based internal audits, process reengineering, strategic business advisories, venture capital funding and loan syndications, business valuations, and value enhancement services, including advisory, cost management advisories, setting up of quality management systems, SOPs, setting up management information systems and dashboards, setting up internal control and internal financial controls for the corporates. He's also handling information system audit and functional consulting. He's also involved in his area of practice, including forensic audits and fraud detections, performance management advisories, and accounting advisories. He is also holding the various designation at various institutions, the prestigious institutes, including presidents at Nagpur wing of Mumbai chapter of Institute of Internal Auditors of United States of America for the year 1213 and 1314. Sir is also a co-opted member in the Board of Governance, Mumbai chapter of Institute of Internal Auditors from United States of America for the year 1213 and 1314. Also a co-opted member in Information Technology Committee of WIRC of ICAI Mumbai for the year 1415. He is also a member as an independent director and an audit committee chairman in two listed companies. He is also a managing committee member of Nagpur chapter of Cost Accountants, Nagpur, and currently a chairman of the Professional Development Committee from the year 2023-2024. He is also holding the same position in the current year. He is also a member of Internal Audit Standard Board of ICI Delhi for the year 1213 and 2122. He is also holding position as a member of Internal Audit Committee WIRC of ICI Mumbai for 1112 and 1819. He is also a treasurer of Chamber of Small Industry Association Vidarbha Kosia. MSME and Startup Committee of WIRC of ICI Mumbai is also a member in State Level Task Force Committee on Economic Commercial Law and WTO of the ICI Delhi for the year 1415. He is also a member of Committee for MSME, Bank, Trust, Corporates of WIRC of Institute of Cost Management Accountants of India, Mumbai 2122. He is also a member of Task Force for the Member in Industry, Committee of WIRC of Institute of Cost of Management Accountants of India, Mumbai for the year 2021. He is also a member of Task Force for the State Government Representation of WIRC of Institute of Cost of Management Accountants of India, Mumbai 2021. He is also a member of Industrial Committee of ICI Delhi for the year 1415, also the member of Board of Studies in Rezoni College of Management and Research, and also the member of Internal Audit Committee of Nagpur branch of ICAI. Sir has also contributed knowledge in various fields through seminar, through his content development. There are certain knowledge contribution to seminar, Internal Audit Standard Board of ICI Delhi. He has delivered his contribution at seminar in the seminar in the National Academy of Direct Taxes, Delhi, Provincial Academy for Learning and Excellence, Nagpur, an institute affiliated to Seneca College, Canada, Regional Training Center of Comptroller and Auditor General of India, WIRC of ICAI Mumbai branch, Nagpur branch of ICAI and Vikasa, Nagpur branch of ICMA, Nagpur branch of Institute of Company Secretaries of India, Vidarbha Industrial Association, Vidarbha Management Association, Chamber of Small Industries Association, the Indus Entrepreneur, the Ramdev Baba College of Management Research, Nagpur, and Rai Soni College of Management Research, Nagpur. He is also a contributor in various content, technical guides on internal audits and internal audit standards published by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Delhi, articles on WIRC of Institute of Cost Management Accountants of India, Mumbai, regularly writing in the highest circulated newspaper in Vidarbha and some part of Madhya Pradesh, the Hitwada, and Vidarbha's leading business magazine, Kama Business Magazine, contributing articles in Vidarbha, Industrial Association, and Nagpur branch of ICI Journal. He's also acted as a joint editor for the Journal of Nagpur branch of ICI for the year 1230. He does not stop here. He is also a very good musician and a sports person. He has represented in the state level basketball and cricket in interstate high level tournament organized by BCCI for Vidarbha and Nagpur University. He is also featured in the list of probables in the Ranji trophies in the cricket, and he is also music lover. And he has also handed a foundation of leading musical group Harmony in the city of Nagpur. So I welcome you, CA Nitin Alshiji, to this DICE and the wonderful webinar. And we would love to hear a song at the end of this webinar from your side, sir. So
Thank
I
you
would
so
like
much.
to extend request CA Nitin Alshiji to begin with today's session on exploring opportunities in business consulting around audits and capacity building initiative of Committee of Member in Practice, sir.
Sure, sure. Thank you very much, Mridul, President of Institute of Cost Chartered Accountants of India, Vice President of ICAI, and President and Vice President of Committee for Members in Practice. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity for offering some kind of experience, whatever I have gathered over a period of 26, 27 years. Now this is my 28th year of practice. And first and foremost, congratulations to the team of Committee of Members in Practice who has actually taken up the very apt area. Actually, when we have discussed this topic was regarding the avenues in audit. So we have converted that into an exploring opportunities of business consulting while doing the audit. So this is very critical as far as what kind of opportunities which are open while doing the audit. That probably would be more helpful for the audience. And after a very large and big introduction, I should be living up to the standards of expectations. So that is what my first inning would be. So
Absolutely, sir.
first inning would be, and now shall I share my PPT now?
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Is it visible now? Hello,
It's
Mridul?
visible, sir.
It's visible?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Okay.
Yes.
So we would be starting with areas where actually exploring business consulting opportunities around audits. So whenever we are doing the audits, may it be n number of audits we are conducting as a chartered accountant. So whenever we are exploring, doing and carrying out the audit, we come across various other areas as to whether it should be treated as a consulting area or it should be an extension of audit that we need to consider. But important aspect all big companies. We are also connected to many big companies across India. So they are treating it as a consulting and consulting opportunity and consulting activity, and it is being separately billed to the client. And client is happy to shell out something out of their pocket because of the value additions which we generally make in the consulting activity. So this is what exactly we are going to discuss. Maybe 1.5 hours. I hope that I should be living to your expectations, and
Yes,
I'll
yes.
try I'll try my level best to do that.
Understood.
So first and foremost is we are what we are going to discuss today is the various audit which CA or chartered accountants are conducting during the practice of audit or during the practice. Whenever we are doing this audit, whenever we are doing this audit, we come across many other areas which otherwise brings an say enhancement, or which otherwise brings uh, value addition to the clients. And generally we don't pitch up to the client that we know these kind of services and this should be done, because we are continuously engaged and engrossed in the audit. But we should now be developing the thinking while doing the audit as to what kind of other things should be pitched to the client, and what kind of other things should be discussed with the clients and put forward to the client's mind, so that at least these kind of take services can also be a corollary, and actually it should be a part and practice of your consulting business. And believe me, we have been doing this because I have also started 27, 28 years back. This only we are into internal audits and statutory audits and all those things. Then I got to know about, was this kind of practice. It'll be definitely be accolade. You will win some accolades, but at same times, if you try to do it differently and tell client that, but these are the things which you need to do, then that acts as a consulting activity at times. So this is what exactly we are going to do. Opportunity is business consulting. And now everybody is know that taxation and accounts profession is really undergoing a tremendous change. Artificial intelligence and digitization has really posed a challenge to us. So what is going to be more lucrative is the business consulting or business advisory or whatever kind of advisory, what you may name it differently, but that is what the importance of this. So how to pitch for these consulting services, that is also we are going to discuss over a period of next 1.5 hours. But what is most critical in this is, while we are carrying out the internal audit, while we are carrying out the internal audits or statutory audit or stock audit or whatever, whether other kinds of audit, the eyes and ears should be open, that to pick up the area where we can actually uh, go to the client, sit with the client and tell them, boss, this is what you need, and this is exactly advisory. We are having the capabilities where we can provide the advisories. And believe me, client will welcome you with big heart. What I was discussing with one of this is the furry side of audit, furry side of statutory audit, just for the fun only. But I was asked by some person that what is the profit according to you in audit. But like, forget about the audit. What is the profit? We can show it is the difference between the income and expenses. So, sir, I would like to differ with you. But how? So that is a conceptual definition. The definition of profit is what is being decided by the management and signed by the statutory auditors. So I was shocked. So this most of the client generally they want your signs. If you are not giving them the right value, and then they will shift to some other person. So it is at times just is for signing. Once you are signing their balance sheet, at least mid-size firm. I'm talking of not large firm. I'm talking of mid-size client. But and they would also be very much interested in what kind of fees you are going to charge. So they will be willing to shift should they feel that if you are charging more than what others are not charging. So they would be definitely shifting from one person to another person. So that is dangerous at times. Secondly, there is no information to the client at times because we don't discuss at times. There is no information to the client of our capabilities. See, believe me, chartered accountant course is having a tremendous depth. We have worked with IIT IIMs. I worked with IIT IIMs, and believe me, we have made them typist, because the depth of knowledge which we carry, generally these persons are not carrying that kind of things. They are only very good in presentation or whatever. They might be having some different skills, but we are also having a tremendous skill because of our depth of the course. So we know better things, we know too many things, and client is not aware of our capabilities, and client may be reaching for some other person, or he may be looking for some other person. But at least we should be able to discuss with client about this is what we are doing, this we have done for this client, this we have done for this company, this we have done for this firm, this we have done for this. If we are making him know that we are having a different capabilities, so we are also having a capability of consulting and advisory, which is going to improve your bottom line, which is going to improve your profits, which is going to improve your value, which is going to improve your entire culture of the organization. The clients would definitely will welcome you with the folded hands. The client does not understand internal audit as a consulting. Now, since I was a president of Institute of Internal Auditors USA, now Nagpur wing, for two years, I have broadly interacted with many good internal audit firms across world. And the definition of IA is very clear, that internal audit is a consulting activity. It is, and what has been happening, that we have been treated as a sibling to statutory audit at times. But see, internal audit in depth, if it is conducted, that is also we are going to discuss how to do it. So in depth, if the internal audit is conducted, it is more and more than an audit, and it is more going towards the consulting activity. And client is now looking beyond audit, because the really taxation, accounting, and audit is undergoing a tremendous change. It is under a challenge by AIs and all those things, AIs and digitalization. So definitely client would be requiring more than this. So there are opportunities which are open for consulting, and that is exactly what we are going to discuss. So client expects more value additions to take it from me. Those audits in statutory audit, if you are going for say balance sheet audit and all those things, and then MRL, and then accounting standard applications, and then independent audit report, and then CARO and all those things, the client would be only okay, you are doing your statutory audit, you are signing this, but I want you to sign this kind of balance sheet, and this, so you will be signing, and the assignment would be over then and there. But while doing this kind of audit, we come across many areas which a client is required to do, because of whatever he's expecting or whatever he's looking for in his own business. We can be definitely a channel where we can help him in building up his business and building up the value in the entire business. So client is expecting value additions. Now, what is, you see, any business, may it be small, may it be medium, may it be large, or may it be very large, any person or any businessman would definitely look for only this. On a strategic platform, they would be definitely looking for revenue and profit, eh, for operations, for revenue and profit, then cost control, then efficiency, then compliance, and effective reporting and MIS, which is going to help them in decision support. And while, because they have set up some objective, they have set up some tone at the top, and they want that this information and communication should be made to them on a periodic interval, so that at least it will be helpful for right decision making to achieve the objectives. This is an operational thing which the client would generally look for, or any businessman would look for. For a strategic, he would definitely look for a business expansion, growth, then the value creation, then the sustainable business model, competitive positioning, cost leadership, differentiation. Now, if you we are also student, because we are also a student of strategic management. In our course itself, those who have passed recently, maybe 3, 4, or 5 years back, they are a student of strategic management, because it was in their intermediate course or final course, I don't know, but I think it was in their intermediate course. But see the product
Intermediates. Yeah.
intermediate. So the competitive positioning, the cost leadership, the business modeling, the value creation, the value chain analysis, the Porter's five. So they have all studied all these things. So it is only a matter of application.
Mm.
And most of the MBAs are scoring on this only. See, we know the subject. We know the subject. We know this subject around as well, but we know many other subject around it, around this as well. So we are in a better position than an MBA to give a more value-added consulting advice to a client who can really be of help, or who can really reap the benefits through our own advisories or through our own advice. There lies the opportunity to earn something through consulting and set up your brand as a consultant. So focus on these areas, and your trust of the client will definitely be won. Let me tell you this: we have done this, and clients are now sumoto coming to us, boss. This kind of services which we want while doing the internal audit or statutory audit or stock audit or whatever. They are coming to us, and believe me, they are paying more than what otherwise they would have paid in internal audit or normal statutory audit. Now, various audits which we are conducting: a statutory audit, that everybody does it, maybe at a small level, or maybe at a medium level, maybe at a large level, or maybe at a very large level. Internal audit we are doing, stock audit, okay, we are doing. Information systems audit, we have got a fantastic course of diploma in information systems audit. Most of the uh, course contents, it's such a helpful for any client business, because most of the clients are now going digital. Most of the clients are having a big software or ERP, or even if it is a small client, they are looking for ERPs because they want to be off the operations, and they want to morely invest their time into strategies. Then we do tax audit. But how many times we actually give them a tax planning? I'm not into taxation. I don't do tax audits much because I'm into totally different. But at least in a tax audit, but we understand the corporate. Since we are into corporates, we understand the corporate taxation. We understand the level of advisory which is required actually in tax audit. Then due diligence is another area, or any other need-based audit which client may be requiring. So we are doing all these things. So what is most critical in this? While doing all these things, we need to just change a slight stance of our approach. When we are changing the approach, there would be a number of opportunities which will be open, which you will feel that, boss, this is the area which I can uh, discuss with my client, and we'll say, but we will set up all these things for you. We'll do these things for you. We'll do that things for you, and this is going to be of help to you, maybe on a longer run. This is on a shorter run, and this is the entire. We are fitting up your entire thing is the entire value chain of your business, and
Mm.
110%. The, the client is going to come to you because you have already won the trust of him through your different statutory audit or internal audit, or maybe a number of other audits. But once you are discussing all these things with him, he will definitely be the first person, because any business expansion or any practice expansion, the low hanging fruit is your current client, is your existing client. Usko expand karo. We have done this when the client was hardly 2000 or 2500 crores company. Now the client is having a 21,000 crores turnover, and now we are associated with them from last 27 years, and we are doing entire things across Maharashtra. So this is how. Otherwise, had I only done some audit which was given to me, I wouldn't have added so much of value. But since I am adding every year, I am having different value. He is continuously coming to me and asking for something because business are growing. Similarly, for a small client or for a medium client as well, the client would come to you because everybody wants to grow. And most of the clients in the medium scale or maybe in a small scale, the second generation of the client is coming. They are more interested in expanding. So you would be a channel for their right expansion and growth story. So this is what exactly I wanted to put up here. Pivotal is internal control assessment. In any of this, whatever you are doing, no, sorry, uh, let us start with the statutory audit. This is what exactly we are doing in statutory audit. Forming an opinion, balance sheet audit we are doing, accounting standard we are applying, auditing standard we are applying, we are taking MRL, we are doing CARO, and other regulatory disclosures we are looking for, and then khatam. But the important aspect, at times we have to also uh, see that what clients' internal controls are not that good, and I am signing the balance sheet where the internal control is not good. So you are putting yourself under, or you may be putting yourself under the scanner at some point of time. So what is most critical in any statutory audit is the internal control assessment, or maybe internal audit, or maybe statutory audit. First and foremost, internal control assessment is very important, and there is one guidance in our auditing standard that whenever you find something at the end of the audit, you should have a let communications, written communications made to the client that this is the problems in your internal control, and this is the problem which we have identified. But how many of us actually do it? That is the questions to be asked. If you are doing it, fantastic, no problem. But if you are not doing it, there lies an opportunity to improve your internal controls. And believe me, internal control is not a compliance part. If the clients, you see, any business, if any business are monitored, if any businesses are monitored rightly, that is definitely going to add to the bottom line of the business. And that is exactly we are pitching up to them, that we will improve your internal controls. We know where are the things going wrong. And see, we are also into TQM, total quality management. We have heard this word, we have gone through this. So total quality management, there is a cost to the every error, there is cost to every mistake, there is a cost of non-conformity, there is a cost of quality, always there. So if we are reducing all these things and improving their control system, definitely ultimately the benefit is going to flow to the client by way of enhancement in the bottom line. So how to do it, again we are going to discuss in the next slides. Now just give me a second.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Now, internal control assessments in any types of audit, whatever you are saying, whatever you are doing, first and the first opportunity comes with the internal controls assessment. IFC is the next. So we come across now, for IFC means there is internal financial control over financial reporting. SA 315 speaks about ROMM, risk of material misstatement. Now this is applicable for 50 crore company or loan exposure of more than 25 crores. Now many persons may be having this kind of thing, but the question is to be asked to yourself as to how many of us we have actually done the IFC and built up their risk control matrix and internal control testing. If you are doing it, that is very good. If you are not doing it, when the IFC came in 2015, I think 2014, 15, or 15, 16, 15, big firms have minted money in this, absolutely. They have minted money in this. And fees, I know one client, I know one company who has charged 40 lakhs. I'll not name the person just for the sake of confidentiality, but still today, and this is not a this may be a compliance requirement, because the director responsibility statement has to be given, and section 134(5) also requires auditors and directors to certify that internal financial controls are in place. Correct? So this is a better opportunity. This is again, so creating a risk control matrix is a consulting activity. It is not a part and parcel of audit, though we are saying that in internal financial control, we are saying that the internal controls and we have done the internal financial control, and internal financial controls are properly working. But at times, just for the sake of writing it, we may be writing it. But actually, are we going to create, or are we really creating the risk control matrix? Just one company where we are internal auditors. So we are internal audit. So we took it to the audit committee that there is no internal financial control in place. So the audit committee chairman was shocked, because that is the first aspect which audit committee chairman should be looking at, and it was our first audit. And statutory auditors was just, they were just signing the balance sheet without having the risk control matrix or internal control testing report. So, and he was not actually aware of actually all these things, that is what should be done. Then ultimate next question was to me, Nitin, do you know this? He said, yes, we know this. We can do this. And believe me, immediately this assignment was flown to me. It was given to me. We have carried it in the entire organization by testing 200 plus controls. 200 plus controls. In that 200 plus controls, 91 controls, in 91 controls we have identified the gaps, and believe me, out of 91, 84 was the design of control gap. That means there was no internal control whatsoever. It was a listed company. Auditors were signing just like that, and अगर नाफरा आ गया तो क्या होगा, ये कोई बता नहीं सकेगा. So again and again, this is very very important, but this we have taken into a different assignment as a setting up an internal financial control framework in an organization. So creating a risk control matrix is a very very important aspect, though it is as a matter of compliance it is required to be done. But when we actually do it, you come to know, while formulating a risk control matrix, that for we are creating for everything which is going to affect your financial reporting. Now, for in a P2P cycle, that procurement to payment cycle, then from O2C angle, that means from order to cash cycle, then from hire to retire cycle, then from record to record to report cycle, entire thing, you would find what there are big controls which are actually missing, and I have been signing balance sheet, or I have been giving an internal audit report without testing this. And believe me, you can also suggest many ways by which you are absolutely putting up a right control in the right place. You can reduce the cost, and you can give the impact at what cost you can save by putting this right control. Now, saving a cost or giving an advisory that towards a cost saving is a consulting activity. How did I identify? Through internal audit. So there is continuous. The picture which is being shown is nothing but a COSO framework. Now everybody understand what is COSO. That this is a framework of Committee of Sponsoring Organization for Tradeway Commission. This is an internationally accepted framework of internal controls. Now at the top, just for 2 minutes, I'll just run through this. At the top, these are the objectives of any organization: efficient operations, correct financial reporting, and correct compliances. These are the objectives of any organization. Operations will give you profit. Reporting will give you the value additions. Right reporting and the level of reporting will give you the value additions and value creation. And compliance will definitely reduce the avoidable cost. And what are the components of internal control? Just see. Control environment, that we see as the internal, so that we see as a tone at top. That is also called as now this framework is just changed. It is now not a control environment, it's an internal environment. Then the risk management, that is also we are going to discuss. Control activities of approvals and authorities and approval and authorizations and all other. Then information and communication. Now for any organization, one assignment we are doing in one of the listed company only on this information and communication, because this is the major lapses in any organization, may it be small, may it be large, may it be very large, may it be medium scale. Communication hota hi nahi. There is no communication rightly, and because of lack of communication, or because of क्या बोल सकते हैं उसको, विदाउट, बिकॉज ऑफ less communications or ego problems or whatever, there is no channel of right communication. So if there is no channel of right communication, that is definitely going to add an intangible cost to the organization. अरे ये तो मालूम ही नहीं था, अरे वो तो यार मैंने भूल गया इसको बताना, अरे उसने किया, मैंने उसको भेजा था, बताया किया नहीं. But everything is going to add to the cost for the business. And this they for this there lies a opportunity to set up a right communication within organization. Now I am working on one assignment only on information, communication, and cultural development. See, these assignments are available. You should be putting rightly that what kind of communication line should be at a strategic level, what kind of communication should be at operational level, what kind of integration should be we should be having in a strategic function and an operation function. Within operation function also, for what kind of communication we should be having with purchase department, with your store department, with your quality department with your warehouse and all those things. So we are trying to set up and we are trying to create one framework which will be applicable across organization for communication and information, and ultimately it is going to define the different culture in a business organization. And believe me, culture is one of the biggest value driver for any business. We have seen many big businesses where the culture is absolutely worst. Definitely that is going to affect your bottom line, that definitely that is going to affect your value creation, definitely that is going to affect your sustainability in the days to come. So this is very very important. Now another aspect is normally internal control assessment. Forget about the IFC. The clients which is not required to go for IFC, we can also go for the internal control assessment. How to do it? एक सेकंड, ये स्क्रीन जा नहीं रही क्या?
हाँ सर, स्क्रीन नहीं आती.
एक सेकंड.
नाउ विजिबल.
Yeah, Mridul, now I am audible.
Yes, yes, you are audible, sir. Your screen is also visible.
Okay,
All good, sir.
so all good, no? Okay.
Yes,
So this whatever we have discussed now, is it audible? Okay, thank you,
yes,
thanks for the patience.
yes.
So what we were discussed about the IFC and internal control. Now, uh, was I audible when we have discussed on this screen? I think no.
No, no, sir. We have to
No.
discuss.
Okay, we have to discuss. Okay. Now the internal control tools. Now, this is the important actual how to do it. Now, what we are doing is how to do it exactly. Internal control assessment करना क्या है और करते कैसे हैं? Sir, we know that internal controls are ऐसे होते हैं, but exactly how to do and how to assess and how to cook internal control assessment assignment. These are the internal control tools which generally I use in exactly uh, assessing as to whether the internal controls are actually applicable in the organizations, are really functioning or not, or if it is not functioning, then whether the operating effectiveness is right and done, or whether these entire controls are not actually available at all. So we will start with the control environment assessment. Control environment is nothing but the tone at the top. Mridul, now I am audible, na?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Now the control environment is nothing but the tone at the top. So control environment management का thinking कैसा है? Towards financial reporting, towards operational efficiency, towards compliance, towards information communication, towards risk management, towards your control activities and all those things. So we are trying to test what kind of problem the management is having, whether there is a right tone at the top, or there is a tone at top itself is missing, at management itself is taking the internal control for right. If that is the case, then we need to be very careful while doing the statutory audit of such organization. So internal control, then control activities like authorizations and approvals. These are another activity. These are so for every functional activity, may it be H2R cycle, may it be P2P cycle, may it be O2C cycle, or may it be R2R. R2 means record to receive, report. All cycle, you take up all functions, and you take up all functions from procurement to purchase, procurement to payment, order to cash, hire to retire, then JVs, then accounting, proper accounting, and then your record to report. All cycles, whether there is a right control activity, whether there is right authorization, right approval levels, whether it is mentioned, then whether the reviews and monitoring are correct. Now, the reconciliation is one of the better tool of any organize or for any internal control assessment. You need to have reconciliation between the things, whether it is inter branch, whether it is inter department, or whatever kind of thing. But wherever these kind of tools are required, like you need to have reconciliation. Now, if you are going for an internal control assessment, you would say that, boss, it has to have a reconciliation. Yahan pe reconciliation is missing. So the what control will be missing will be reconciliation. And you believe me, you set up a right internal control system, and the business definitely would go one step ahead in profits because of the less mistakes which they are going to make. Input validations, output validation, timeliness. This is very, very critical internal control. The things which are to be done on time has to be done on time. You cannot do it on as per the whims and fancies of the person who is actually carrying it, or as per the whims and fancies of the operational head. No. SOPs. SOPs are rightly formulated SOP. This is also we are going to discuss. SOPs, rightly formulated SOPs, is one of the tool by which you are going to set up a culture of communication, reduction of mistakes, reduction of errors, and adding to the bottom line. Confirmations. We know the only balance confirmation, but there are other confirmations also which are very critical while operating the internal controls. Segregation of duties, everybody of us knows, is safeguarding of assets. Safeguarding of asset is not related only to physical assets. Knowledge sharing. Now there is one act at data privacy. This is an act of 2000. So most of the organizations which are having a website and all those things now, most of the organization is having a digital operations and all those things. They need to have this kind of digital privacy and all those things. Along with our own assets or our own knowledge should not be allowed to be flown out. So whether this kind of things are also being done, and एक भी information अगर बाहर गई organization की, that is going to have a strategic loss to any business organization. अगर मैंने मेरे कस्टमर की लिस्ट ही अगर मैंने दूसरे कॉम्पिटिटर को भेज दी, मेरे मेरे कोई एग्रीव्ड एम्प्लॉय है, मैंने उसको डांट दिया एग्रीव्ड एम्प्लॉय है, और मैंने उसको ये करके मेरी कस्टमर की लिस्ट उसने उठा के भेज दी, एंड देयर वाज नो कंट्रोल ऑन द फ्लाइट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन, हो गया कॉम्पिटिटर्स. This is going to have a big dent on a reputation as well, on the profitability as well, and on the strategic competitive positioning as well. So physical asset, logical assets control, information and communication. We have just discussed that information and communication, we are having one assignment of setting up an information and communication framework in one of the listed company. Now this brings us me to the internal linkages part. Now for any organization, again I am reiterating, may it be small, may it be middle level, may it be large, or may it be very large. For any organization, it has to have some objectives. हमको कहाँ पहुँचना है, where they want to lead this organization to. Maybe after 1 year, maybe after 2 years, maybe after 5 years, whatever. They may be having objectives for which they set up some processes and controls. If these controls are not right, there is going to be a residual risk. If the controls are good, risk will be less. If the controls are bad, the risk would be more. This is going to help me in bringing up my next topic, is a risk management. Now, risk management is nothing but a very, very, very effective tool to avoid surprises. Now, who were knowing that the COVID would happen, or something would happen in Iraq, or something would happen in Ukraine, or something would happen in my own organization, or something is going to happen maybe which is going to affect my organization very badly. But what is most critical is to preempt it at a very early stage and put up a right process and control. That is what we call it as resilience. That is what we call it as resilience, so that the effect of this risk, if it actually materializes, would be very less, and it would be under my appetite, so that I can sustain that. So again, it is going to affect my sustainability of the organization. Now, in any business, sustainability is very, 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 very buzzword, very big word now. Because are we going to be a sustainable, maybe whether my business is going to be sustainable? Now, everybody of us is maybe investing in mutual funds, or maybe investing in shares on their own. What we actually look at is the strategic initiative of risk management, whether the company is having a risk management framework or not, whether whatever company is earning, whatever company is doing, whatever company is operating, whether it is going to have a sustainable operations or not. ESG के ऊपर तो बहुत आ गया है. Now there is a course I'm also going to take up. I don't know whether our institute has come out with some course on ESG or not, but our Institute of Cost and Management Accountant has come out with that course, and this is another area of advisory. People are really minting money. Big Four and other big organizations are really has set up their own different department for ESG consulting. The person, the client which we are knowing in and out, who other than us can give better consulting than us, boss? Because see, we know them in and out. We have been working with them from so many years. But you need to try them. You need to reach to them, and you need to educate to them that, boss, this is what you need, and this is what we are going to help you out. Now, these are just an operational risk. Now, I'm just discussing about the operational risk. Operational risk is nothing but the failure of people, failure of person, or any business disruptions. Now, the smallest business disruption also can put a big cost to the company, or can put big dent to the company's reputation, or to the business. I'm not talking of company, to the business reputation or businesses. Now, this is going to affect your bottom line. And any enterprise, any business, they would be interested in only one thing: whether revenue, profit, growth, value creation, by value enhancement. That's all. So risk management is now is not uh, only a strategic initiative, but it is also important from a statutory auditor, from auditor's point of view, to understand. But because we are also signing, if we are statutory auditors and we are signing the things which is not risk competent. Now, what the risk we are taking, that one need to understand. So technological, these are the kind of risk. Having identified the risk, now we are, for one pharma listed company, we are doing this risk management where the big four are statutory auditors and internal auditors, and we are risk consultants. And believe me, we could say in the board meeting that the topic which was just covered by your internal auditor and this risk were not covered, boss, at all. So what the hell your internal auditor was doing? And the management was like, oh, no, this should have been discussed long back, because had that event happened, there was a big business risk which was going to be uh, faced by the business. And it was absolutely, I mean, it was in existence as well, straight affecting the business existence. So this is the power of risk management. This is the power. So how we can cook this kind of assignment? Talk to your client. Boss, have you done your risk assessment? He said, what is this? Have you identified your risk? अभी एक कंपनी थी, छोटी कंपनी थी, maybe 50 crores and all those things, but that company, we have just joined as a consultant to them, and they said that what is your growth strategy? No, we will be touching maybe next year this, after that next year this, then third year this, and fourth year this, and fifth year this. Who's going to be who's going to take over all these things? Who's heading your marketing team? No, this person has come joined us, and he's going to take entirely into marketing team. What are the other persons who are into marketing? No, as of now, he is the only person who's going to take it. कल ये चल के ये उठ के चले गया तो क्या होगा? If this person is leaving, your entire business plan is going to go for toss. Right. So you need to make them understand, boss, you are taking this risk, so have a succession plan. Who better can give a better advisory than a chartered accountant on a succession planning, boss? This happens in your family business as well. So go to them, sit with them, and try to make them understand that, boss, we are going to assess your entire risk management. We are going to identify the risk. Then we are going to sit with you and how to mitigate the risk, so that if the risk is going to get materialized, the impact would be reduced to the acceptance level. These people will be very happy, because that definitely the smart person would understand, but this is going to affect my bottom line, and मेरे को इससे फायदा होगा. The person will definitely going to go with you. We have also pitched like that only. So management of risk will provide sustainability to the client's business. If this is made known to him in advance, that your sustainability is going to be an issue if you don't do this. Now everywhere, every law now is everywhere now this risk management is coming. So this is a big area where we can identify. And how did we identify this? We have identified through internal audits. This can also be identified through statutory audits, because statutory audit may risk management, because there has to be a policy of risk management, and everywhere you have to give a disclosure of risk management. The board is giving a disclosure. Even a small company, which is a small company, board report has to have a mention of risk management. Just for the sake of doing it, the people are doing it. But we can help them actually to put it in a right framework, and actually to help them implement entire framework of risk management. And this is what client would require. And this is definitely not a compliance part. this is definitely going to help them to reduce the intangible cost. Ultimately, after the risk management, what we are going to do is identify the risk and classify the risk into this quadrant, where the risk is the x axis and y axis, likelihood and significance. The risk which is having a high likelihood and high significance, that is going to be in quadrant 1. So immediately you should give an advisory, boss, you should avoid this, you should not take this activity, prevent it at source. Now where the risk of likelihood is less but the significance may be high, if it happens or if it materializes, then it has to be continuously monitored. So you can set up a procedure, set up a framework, set up an SOP where this is continuously getting monitored. Continuous control monitoring is another area where institute has also come out with one guidance note on continuous control monitoring. People maybe have, or participants may be having a knowledge of this, but continuous control monitoring, this is important. Third, where the likelihood is high, but the significance may be low. So you just need to monitor it. And the things which is coming in the quadrant 4 is having a low control. So that kind of, because any business would definitely have that, itna to chalega boss. This kind of risk would, okay, we will accept this risk. ठीक है ना? But at least we need to identify and make them understand, but this is the acceptable risk, this is the high risk, this is the medium risk, this is the medium and high impact risk, and this is the low risk. And you can create a framework for them and continuously monitor it. It is definitely going to affect the intangible cost, and then you can sit with the clients maybe 2-3 months, but we have reduced this cost. Earlier this was open area, now we have put up a right control, and the mistakes have been reduced. So your profit is going up now, one way or the other, or it will set up a culture of next improvement. Next is internal audit, very near and dear to me. Now internal audit, when we are actually doing an internal audit in a small organization, or we have mid-scale organization or large organization, very large organization, maybe big four are doing, or many big companies are doing. But here, how to do internal audit? Are we taking just 2 rupees to 2 rupees in vouching, or we are coming out with a report that revenue stamp nahi lagaye, फिर यहाँ पे साइन नहीं हुआ, देन HSN कोड नहीं डाला, एंड फिर बाद में डाल दिया, फिर ये दिस काइंड ऑफ JVs आर मिसिंग, फिर बाद में JV मिल गई. Are we going to report like this? Because I have seen this report when I became an audit committee chairman in recently. I got appointed as an independent director, and the person was 22 years in practice of internal audit, and report was absolutely rubbish. And the company is 450 crores in Mumbai, and the person is also into practice in Mumbai from last 22 years. And then I've raised my concern in audit committee, and I said, "Ki boss, this is not acceptable." So we have changed the entire scope of the internal audit, and this is now where I am now comfortable, where I'll be really going for each and every activity and what kind of report they are going to submit it to me for my approval in my audit committee. So how you do internal audit? Are we really adding the value? See, simple, because internal audit generally is being treated as a cost center. How can we convert it into a value center? That is up to us. So what we need to do is to change the internal audit approach to this. Now, when we do it, we see so many the transactions which are getting passed. हम लोग इतने तरह से देखते हैं, for process angle, from risk angle, from accounting angle, from finance angle, from costing, then data analytics, then business evaluation, then information system, then forensic, and then governance and compliance and monitoring. Earlier, internal audit used to be only a part and parcel of, or treated as a sibling to a statutory audit, and it's only related to compliance. Only come and do our stock audit, see that whether our returns are going properly or not, our GSTR one is going properly or not, whether our TDS returns are being filed rightly or not. This is not internal audit, boss. It has got a wide gamut where it is now being treated as a consulting activity. Later on, we'll discuss. While doing the internal audit, we understood that there was no process. There are no right processes. Everybody of us who are doing internal audit, they might come across that, but यहाँ पे तो processes ही नहीं है. There are no processes in the organization. There lies an opportunity of this consulting, which McKinsey, Bain, BCG, Big Four who are into consulting, they are doing these assignments, business process reviews and re-engineering. And we can also do it. We have done it for one 900 crores company just recently. What needs to be done? Now forget about what we have done. What needs to be done, I'll tell you. So this will be of help. Review the process. Do the process what is as is. Next is the to be process, what should be. And then try to find out the gaps. And then set up a process, how to re-engineer and how to meet out those gaps and how to plug those gaps so that the entire processes are being met its process level objectives. I am reiterating, every process has got its process level objectives. That means, like for example, for a purchase, what is process level objectives? For every purchase, the purchases has to be from right source, at a right price, at right location, from a right vendor. This is the normal process level objective of purchases or procurement. So whether these PLOs, that means process level objectives, are being met or not, this would help you in understanding what is to be process. What is as is, what they are doing, that is the as is process, to be process. And then see, while doing the re-engineering, that whether the cost centers can be converted into a value center or whether it is a purely cost centers, where we can automate the process. In that organization, we have entirely automated the sales process. They were having the marketing and sales team, which were doing an marketing and collecting the orders on a daily basis by sending up a person to different distributors and different dealers to collect the orders, that what is today's order. And then they used to write it on a piece of paper, and then they used to come to office or then consolidate it on Excel and then send it to the production department, and then accordingly the entire setup and dispatch used to happen. What we have done, we have entirely digitized these operations. So we have increased the agility in operations. See, for any operations, you just understand what is important is the operational efficiency. That is also a part and parcel of the definition of internal control issued by our own Institute of Chartered Accountants of Institute of Chartered Accountants. It is in definition of internal control that operational efficiency is the part and parcel of segment of internal control. Now, for any operations, two things are very important. One is the cycle time, and second is the cost. Either the cycle time will be an essence or a cost would be an essence. If we can reduce both of this, where the cycle time is important, that means time of that particular activity is important, you need to reduce that. So we have done the same. So the entire sales cycle was used to be of 2 to 3 or 4 hours. We reduced it to hardly less than half an hour. How did we do it? We have given them a solution that was you said. You have one app of taking an order, and every dealer and every distributor would punch their own orders on that app itself, give them a login, and once that orders is placed by the distributor or dealer, it would be aggregated at one place immediately by the app itself, and it would be given to the marketing head. Marketing head would approve it, and immediately it would send further to the production department or whosoever it is concerned. Now, this is the time was the essence. We could save so many costs in conveyance. We could save so many costs in the non-value adding time. So this is as is and to be. So time, cost, is an essence in operations, automation, digitalization. I have just come across, just for the benefit of the participants, I've just come across uh, one digital initiative taken by Indigo. उनके 6E मैगजीन में आपको ये मिल जाएगा. You have to just navigate. Maybe it was in the November 23 issue or December 23 issue. I am not exactly understanding, but the digital, how they have done the operation, how they have digitized the operations right from HR and it is the customer experience. Absolutely fantastically narrated. This can help us in actually putting up a thought in our own mind that how to do it. And then actually I am doing the same thing. I am continuously into research as to how can we add value, how can we add value, how can we add value to the client. So this is definitely going to help you. So efficiency, asset utilization, agility in operations, or even strategic process transformation, you should be doing this. We have identified the opportunity through internal audit and the business process re-engineering was conducted. So every contribution towards sustainable process improvements, the client business will draw satisfaction and retention. So take it from me. Now, ये क्या दिख रहा है? Mrudul, sign is screen is
Sir,
visible, no?
visible.
Now you have to identify
So
8
it's
in this. You have to identify 8 in this. Digit 8. Could somebody identify? Chal, okay. We'll not waste time. This
seems
is
like
the
our eyesight is
yeah. This is the 8. Correct.
yes.
Now what I have done, I have tried to unearth or unplug one exception in the data. Correct. What we do in audit, may it be internal audit or may it be, we are trying to identify the exception, right? Now we need to develop this eye to identify the exception. That brings us me to my another is this forensic and fraud detection. So what I'm trying to say is what is being presented before you, just go beyond that and you would be able to identify a fraud or you would be able to detect one fraud in an organization which is unknown to the business owner. एक fraud identify करके देखो and see the what kind of applaud you get. So another area of consulting, we have done this. We have identified 2-3 frauds in one organization, and then we have pitched to that. But what kind of things we are doing? We should have a fraud detection. We should have a fraud prevention procedures. We should have an anti-fraud policy. We should have a whistleblower policy. Just for the sake of doing it, or just to have it a policy like a whistleblower, which is to be uploaded in the website, that is not going to help us. If it is to be applied in spirit, this is definitely going to, because one fraud would take any organization, one big fraud would take organization 2-3 years back, or maybe more than that. So this opportunities, even it is applicable, it is available even in statutory audit. We might come across something wrong. Correct. So you once the exceptions is identified. Now what is exception? Exception is nothing but the red flag. Once this red flag is identified, you need to chase the red flag. We have done for many big organizations, including out of India assignments. But what is critical? This we need to see in forensic. Who would be? This is the behavioral science one, or these are the areas. There are a number of other red flags, but because of the paucity of time, I'm not going to go and I'm not going to discuss with that. The employee won't take vacation. The employee of a client who is not going for vacation is a red flag. कौन ज्यादा काम करता है बॉस? The person would not be interested. आजकल तो कोई काम ही करता नहीं. Then egoistic employees,
Yeah.
workaholic employees, alcoholic employees. These are the person who are likely to perpetrate. That itself means these are the likelihood of frauds, yeah, I'm not saying that every workaholic and every alcoholic person would be a fraudster. No, but they may be carrying out a fraud or they are vulnerable for fraud. So the person like living beyond means, आमदनी 18 खर्चा रुपया. If you find somebody while doing the audit, if you find somebody who is doing the audit, that the salary is not even 20,000 and he is carrying the iPro Max, that iPhone Pro Max, where are the things coming from, or where is the money coming from? That itself means there may be something. So keep an eye on him. I'm not saying that he is the only person who is going to make fraud, but that is the person who would generally be involved in fraud or who would likely to do fraud. So the person who is living beyond means, unexplained variances. If you come out something in exceptions and there is no proper explanation, then there is a likelihood of fraud. If you receive a complaint of employees or from any other from different source during the audit, like what we do it in balance confirmation, there is a likely possibility of fraud. The person who is having a midlife crisis, he is the person who is vulnerable for fraud. The person who is having a big loans, many credit cards, many loans, the you always have an eye on him. Whether you are doing an internal audit पे तो करना ही करना है. When we are doing even a statutory audit, you should have an eye on these kind of persons. Then missing reports and documents, the important documents, no नहीं मिल रहा, वो नहीं मिल रहा, मालूम नहीं. This we have identified in one of the banks where we were continuously asking for the document and that person was continuously saying no sir, देता हूँ. 2 दिन हो गए, 4 दिन हो गए, 5 दिन हो गए. We were central auditors. 4 दिन हो गए, 5 दिन हो गए, 6 दिन हो गए, 7 दिन हो गए. Then when I have reported this to my boss, because I was young when this actually have happened, then this document missing, behind this missing document, there was a big fraud committed by that person. Then one employee does it all. If only one employee does it all, he is continuously in the grasp of all things. He is not allowing somebody else to know this. That person is absolutely problem in that may be that person may be actually carrying out some fraud. Duplicate payment documentation which is not original, preference to vendor. See, I have a list of 100 more red flags, but this cannot be discussed here every now and then. But what are another area, like in one of the organizations, one of the PSU, public sector undertaking, it is one of the mini Ratna of India. Take it you, आप सोच सकते हो. It is one of the mini Ratna of India, and I was just going through the ledger scrutiny, and I found only one transaction of 3 to 3.5 lakhs, and the only one of transaction of that vendor, and then for the entire year there was no transaction. Then what I did, I went back to last year. I've seen that last year also he was that vendor was not there. Then it raised my concern whether there is a indication of fraud. So then when I've actually investigated, this was a fraud vendor. The money was siphoned out by the general manager. Then when I brought to the notice of director of finance, then we sat. Then I only got the assignment of entire forensic audit, and then we have myself, because since it was a PSU, myself, CBI, and Chief Vigilance Officer have investigated fraud, and we have asked them. Ultimately, that person was sacked. The amount was 50 lakhs. After that, because this was the one trigger. Then we have searched and we have then investigated in different manner. So he had already taken the money through some unmoved credit balances. He had created a credit balances of refund because he was handling entire thing. He was not giving any operations to be done by down the line, and he was controlling the entire operation. So one employee does it all. One-off transaction, unmoved credit balances. These are the mother of fraud. Then adjustment in one organization, when it was a 500 crore company, we were internal auditors, and every quarter or every month on month basis, we used to have one entry, one JV, that inventory adjustment account. Look, what is this, boss? How continuously or how frequently this is coming? Any excess or short is transferred to this account, and every now and then there used to be a debit balance, not excess, all debit balance. So that clicked us, and then we have entirely gone through the operations of the inventories, and there we have uncovered one fraud, that how the persons were playing with the management, because management sits in Mumbai, the factories are in Nagpur side, so they were all playing preference to vendors. These are normal frauds. Now I'll just take you through one small invoice, though it is a slightly old case, but it would be of help. Now, what do you see in this? What exception? तब GST नहीं आया था. And one thing is very important in forensic. Generally, this vendor fraud would be done in service vendors, not to the goods vendors. Huh? This service vendor, because it is not visible. And most of the organizations do not carry the procedures of having a service received. They're like for GRN, we do it GRN. Here, service note received note nahi banti. So these kind of things, they are vulnerable. So what do you see? Now I'll just take you through the red flags. The invoice is of what vendor? Easy Prints, right?
Easy Prints, yes.
Easy Prints. Okay. What work he has carried out? Oil painting, cement white, oil paint silver, fill. How a person who is into printing activity, manufacturer of identity card can do this? So the first concern was raised. This is a fake invoice. Ultimately, it came out to be true. And another red flag, where was it debited? Repairs maintenance building. Correct? We have investigated this fraud. We were in Aurangabad, and I went to this vendor for a field investigation, and there was no such vendor. This is the amount, and this is a real invoice. Huh? 3,371,000. See, so these kind of things are to be seen. So if you come across any red flag, it may be the tip of the iceberg. Don't just let it go. You investigate, and you might come out with a big fraud, and which will help you, or which will get you an assignment of entire anti-fraud policies and all those things, and setting up internal controls over forensic audit or forensic accounting, whatever you may say. Another area where whenever we are doing a stock audit, or whenever we are doing an internal audit, or whenever we are doing a statutory audit, you might come out that, boss, why this profit is going down, boss, in spite of the fact that there is a huge growth, or there is a significant, or there is a fair growth in the operations, still the profit is going down, or profit is not up to that level which is expected, right? And management is not aware of. There you may pitch up for this kind of assignment, that we will do your entire cost reductions or cost analysis assignment. We'll carry out. How to do it? There are two to three pillars of cost analysis. One is a cost saving. We also call it as a cost transformation. You may Google it. There is a cost transformation. Cost analysis is one of the part and parcel of it. Then where can I save the cost? Where can I control the cost? Where can I reduce the cost? And where can I avoid the cost? Where I can contain the cost within the budget. So these are the pillars of cost analysis. You may do it. We are doing it for one organization, and we are really getting very good support from the management, because ultimately cost and revenue and profits and cost is very near and dear to any organization or any businessman. So for cost saving, cut internal costs. So there should be a culture of continuous improvement, which is also called as Kaizen. Don't get confused with the word Kaizen. It is only continuous improvement. If you inculcate the culture of continuous improvement, you will definitely save the cost. Cost control. Cost control means cost center wise target fixing and sunk cost. We know departmental accounting, we know cost centers, we know how to pick up where to collect the cost, where the cost can be collected, where the cost can be reduced, which are the costs which can be really of non-value adding. Correct? Now, again, that brings me to one another topic of strategic management is value chain analysis. Mridul, we know the value chain analysis, right?
Right.
Yes. Now, value chain analysis is what are the main operating process. There are two types of processes. One is operational process, another is supporting process. Like for operations, production, purchase, inbound logistics, outbound logistics, sales, these are all operational process, right? And accounts, admin, IT, HR, these are all supporting process.
Supporting.
Correct. So where would the profit come from? The profit would come from operations.
Operations.
Right. So if we actually apply these kind of cost analysis to operations, we are definitely going to have a cost reductions or maybe cost containment, and we can give a better solutions to do something very good for the organization by doing this kind of assignment. So we have identified this. Now the cost can be classified into 15 to 16 different variables like variable cost, fixed cost, sunk cost, imputed cost, avoidable cost, quality cost, non quality cost, and a number of things. Correct? So always try in a value chain analysis, always try to reduce the cost of supporting process because that is not going to add the value. So always go for the cost which can be avoided or the cost which can be controlled or the cost which can be reduced. And for operational side, the cost and time analysis which we have just discussed three slides back, that can be applied. So this is another area where you can get an assignment of business consulting.
Yes.
Like sunk cost, avoidable cost. Now we know for GST, for income tax, and for Factory Act, and for Labor Act, and for PF and ESIC, and they are paying penalties and penal interest. So this is not going to add value. These costs are not going to come back. These are costs gone forever. How can we reduce this cost? Whether we can set up this process, whether we can improve the process there. Here, if we can put up if we can put up a right perspective in the minds of the management, they would be definitely be more than happy to welcome you for this assignment. Now, AMC, annual maintenance contract. Generally, these costs are paid in advance. If it is not monitored, this cost is gone. So these kind of things are to be see cost of non-conformity, non-value adding cost, breakdown cost, maintenance cost, setup cost, and all other this thing. So this is just a food for thought. So every cost saving solution is valued by the client. So this is another assignment we can pick up. Next is ISA audit, information system audit. We were carrying information system audit in one of the PSU, and there were a hell of a lot of problem. So when we have given actually a report, we identified there are so many disconnects in the process. Then we actually sat with the director of finance and managing director and an audit committee, and then we said that boss, there is a big problem. If I issue this report like this, you will be under severe problem. So said no sir, then what we need to do? But we will issue, but first and foremost, let us have the policies and procedures in place. So like, can you help it? Can you help us for can you help this to us? Very well. So we have entirely formulated the IT policy. We have improved their role-based access control. Earlier, Mridul, you will not even believe a person from a procurement department was having a direct access to the general ledger of company.
Yes, 2 years.
Now, what kind of role-based was there? What kind of access What kind of any now a person from account department can open a PO, can create a PO rather, not open that, can create a PO. So there were so many disconnects. So it took another 1.5 months to entirely put the things on a right perspective, to put the things in a right frame, and then but we have charged differently for them. But where we got this opportunity through information system audit. Another aspect, most of the companies are going for ERP. Everybody cannot afford SAP. Everybody cannot afford Oracle or Oracle ERP. So they might be doing it on their own. Correct? There we can be a best person who understand purchase, who understand procurement, who understand sale, who understand product, not exactly production, but who understand quality, who understand accounts, who understand HR, who understand logistics, who understand, and the integration of all these modules where because entire effect is going to come in trial balance. Correct? So the integration, so who better than us can be a better functional consultant, boss? And you can always tell them that this kind of controls we want in this procurement. Like for GRN, I want two level controls. For GRN, for in SAP, I believe I was told that in SAP there is no dual level control facility in creating GRN. So maker checker is not available. So okay, for SAP that may not be, but for other organization where they are going for a small ERP, we can always be a functional consultant. But this kind of control we want, this kind of report we want, this kind of Z report we want. We want to have this kind of control in procurement. We want to have this kind of control in sales. I want same type of control in HR, then salary, then procurement, then my debtors, then my creditors, everything. So you can set up all these things. So we are in a best position as a functional consultant. And once we do that, there will be floodgate which will be open for because we can pitch this to our different client. But we have done this for this client. We were functional consulting to this client, and we have brought out with very good ERP. So then he will say, "What? Why can't you do it for us as well?" So there lies an opportunity. Very, very important. So we are now coming almost to the last 4 5 slides. Value enhancement strategies. Value enhancement strategy is one of the aspects which every chartered accountant must venture into. Ultimately, small organization now wants to go to mid organization. Mid organization wants to go to large organization. Large organization is wants to go for a very large organization and set up their own era. But we can be a part and parcel of this growth journey. How? Value enhancement strategy. Now a person who is going for an IPO. Now who is going for IPO? Normally a merchant banker would give some kind of valuations to him on a basis of peers. Sales into 5, EBITDA into 15, EV to EBITDA into this. That kind of peers, that kind of multiples they will give. But then as a consultant, we can always tell them, boss, I don't want your value. I don't want to, I should be commanding value rather than demanding value. So if we can sit with the client, and if we can tell them, boss, if we want to go for IPO, say or private equity or strategic investment, maybe after 1 year, 1 or 2 years down the line, first अपन अपना घर पक्का करो, so that we can get a better valuation. So the company specific risk can be brought down and the discounting factor of cash flows can be brought down. Correct? So this is nothing but a value enhancement strategies. Most of the chartered accountants are not into it. Now, who better than us, Mridul sir, who better than us can suggest the cash flow improvements? We understand where the cash flows are getting affected. I have just made a research. We have just come out with one framework. I have uncovered some 67 areas as of now. That research is still going on. 67 areas where the cash flow can be improved. Next is business model, revenue model improvement. There are about 30 to 40 different business models. You can always go and sit with the client, boss, change your business model, change your revenue model, so that you can go for a bigger growth. Then third is assistance in strategy formulation. I am reiterating the word assistance. See, we are not telling you to how to do business. We are not telling them how to do business. They understand how to do business. We are helping them to formulate a strategy for a business plan. Correct? So we can do that. We are in the right position for a valuable capital structure, because that this capital structure is going to have a sustainable effect on the valuation when we are going for a strategic investment, private equities, or IP. Financial modeling, same. ESG. ESG, I have just discussed. Sustainability is going to be next level consulting. So if anyone is not venturing into ESG consulting, please do. There are now a number of courses which are available, so we can do that. So this is another area which we could see when we were actually doing statutory audit and internal audit, because that person had spoken to us that I want to go for IPO, maybe 1.5 years. So we said that, boss, prepare for it and then go for it. We will make you prepare for it so that we can command valuation, and we should not be depending on the merchants by bankers valuation who is giving you the rubbish valuation. And that exactly is in now process of happening. Correct? So this is another area. So client will be happily to shell out for every value creation activity. Quality management system, SOP. Now SOP, now most of the people are in small organization. We are an ISO company. Boss, ISO is totally different. ISO, what ISO says, जो लिखा वो करो वो लिखो. Do write what you're doing. Write what you're doing, do what you write. That's all. So they will be saying, do whatever you are writing and write whatever you are doing. But are you doing rightly? That who would be telling us? That we would be telling us, right? So we know procurement, we know inventory, we know accounts, we know maintenance, we know everything. This is only the illustrative list, but we know in one of the largest company where we have created IFE in 2015, IFC. Now that market cap of that company may be top 15 in India. That is second largest explosives manufacturers in the world. So we did IFC for them, internal financial control, and ultimately institutional investors had come, and institutional investors in AGM said that we don't want local auditors. So local statutory auditors was local auditor. I was the IFC consultant. I was not an auditor. I was never not an internal auditor. I was not a statutory auditor. I was just IFC consultant, because statutory auditor were not knowing what is IFC, because it just came in 2015. So then they have appointed E&Y. So ultimately EY came, and EY said that we want SOPs to be created. Now, had this assignment was given to E&Y, they would have charged very heavily. So they came to me. Nitin sir, can you create an SOP for me? So why not? We already have created for some small organization and we know how to do it. And believe me, Mrudulji, we have created this SOP through Six Sigma procedures. Now, when that E&Y person came to know it, he sat with me for about 1 hour. So this seems to be very exhaustive. But we have crafted this SOP through a Six Sigma system, that is through SIPOC methodology. So he said, what is that? Then we have made him understood the entire, how did we do it? Because it was so exhaustive. Because see, and this is the one-time cost for any organization. So once the SOP and once the systems and processes are set, this is going to be with the organization for the lifelong. This is for the entire lifelong value additions to them. Ultimately, it is only a review of SOP which would be conducted maybe after periodical intervals. Correct? So this is also another area where you can also pitch it to the client, where your auditors. Clients desperately would go for services to make business process driven rather than person driven, because every SOP, every rightly created standard operating procedures will definitely be helpful in to any organization for succession planning, for mistake proofing, then for error proofing, and make the business person driven rather than a process driven. Make driven process driven rather than person driven, right? So this is very, very big value addition, big consulting assignments, which is going to be in our plate if we rightly put it to the client. How to do it? Make a process walkthrough, understand the process level objectives. At least we have discussed it. Clear work instructions in the statement of procedures. Policy statement, what to do. Procedure statement, how to do it. Think of now, whenever we are writing a work instruction, always think of internal control. We need to have a right work instructions and put a right control statement in the work instruction itself, so that the entire SOP can be mistake proof. Correct? Think of KPI to be included in the SOP. Then it will be comprehensive. Right? So these are the levels how we can actually do this. For another, now who better than chartered accountant can do an accounting transformation? How many of us actually are knowing what is accounting chart? How many of us actually have created an accounts manual for our clients, where we are statutory auditors? We are not, forget about internal auditors. We are statutory auditors and we don't have the client is not having an accounts manual. Any person who is coming and going in the organization is making an accounting entry as per his own whims and fancies. How dangerous that is. How dangerous that is. So for one IT company which just have gotten listed in SME stock exchange, we are working for accounting transformation, entire transformation from what as is to what should be, and we have divided that into different from records management, from ERP, that means their ERP, that means digitization, all system related this thing, and for record maintenance, and actually writing entire accounts manual for the all accounting entries, for income, for expenditure, for assets, for liabilities. Now the entire classification, entire transformation would be done, and we have fixed up the responsibility of different desks, and it is now they are reporting to me every day. Boss sir, itna ho gaya, itna ho gaya, itna ho gaya, and there would be different entire accounting transformation from absolutely worst accounting system to absolutely fantastic accounting system. Then we would do it, and we would include it, since it's a listed company, we would include it in our own annual report. Another aspect, when we have discussed with annual report advisory for the person who are actually going for IPO, the person who are actually going for private equity, the business which are going to thinking for strategic investment. Unka agar annual reporting, financial reporting agar pur sahi kar do, that is biggest value driver for any PE person. I'm telling you. Correct financial reporting, adequate financial reporting, and excellent financial reporting. That is one of the biggest value drivers for organization. So who better than us can do it? Now we just think accounting chart, accounting process should be accurate. It should be compliance to the laws. It should help us in governance. It should help us in analysis. It should help us in expense reporting. It should help us in proper segregation of cost. Now repairs maintenance to building, if I'm putting it to printing and stationery, what is the what sense is going to make? What sense it's going to have? So important aspect is you need to have a right accounting chart, right accounting system, right accounting transformation, and then create an accounts manual. Correct. So this is another area where we can have our own hand. So quality accounting system is one of the biggest value driver. We have just discussed about it. MIS. How many times we come across that the MIS and management reporting system, information below, reporting system below, whatever, is not right. There should be a system, there should be a process, there should be a policy, there should be a procedures, which is sending a right data, accurate data at right table, at right time to the management for decision support. And we come across many such kind of incidents because there is no existence of MIS. Even if the organization is small, again I am reiterating, because generally it is known to every business owner. But whenever there is a small organization, even if there is a mid-level organization, there would be help of this MIS, and because they themselves may not be knowing that what kind of information they are requiring to have a right decision support. So there your contribution comes in, and there you can create a right MIS and right management reporting system, whereby it is going to help organizations. Like just as a matter of example, just see this. We have improved one MIS system through event-based reporting. They are all having that balance sheet and profit loss account and cash flow statement and all those things and data and all those things. But we have again improved one event-based system, because these are the event. These are again illustrative. These are illustrative events, because this is going to directly put them into business risk. This is definitely going to put them into a big financial risk, or a reputation risk, or operational risk straight. This is going to affect their cash flow. This is going to affect your profitability. So we have created another improvement by event-based reports. Again, this इसमें list 50 की है, but I'm just sharing just for the benefit of the participants. Major action by competitor. If they are not, then how are we going to strengthen our competitive position? Then rise in sales concentration. अगर sales concentration किस पे बढ़ गया है, अगर वो खत्म हो गया तो धंधे पे आ सकता है. Business risk at major customer. If your major customer is having some business risk, कुछ problem हो गया वहां पे, then that their business risk is your credit risk. You are not going to get your money. You are not going to get your money. Then some major government action, or they might be thinking of. So risk is a preemption. Then customer acquisition cost. Actually, this we have included in one of the big organizations, that they were not knowing even a customer acquisition cost. First, customer acquisition cost is very critical to know for any
Very important.
very important for, because what I'm going to acquire, how am I spending, or what I'm spending out of my pocket to acquire one customer, can we reduce this cost? And when we have actually put it to the management, they were so happy, because they were not thinking. And then I have discussed with them, whether सिर्फ पार्टी करना और तो खाना पाना खिलाना यही तुम्हारा ब्रांडिंग है क्या, ब्रांडिंग एक्टिविटी है क्या? बोले no, but that is exactly what is being happening. Then they got to know. So you need to put up right perspective to the management in the right manner, at right time rather. Then operational risk event in factory. Like in one of the aluminum manufacturing factory, there we have identified there were some near accident events. Now that entire funnel, that furnace, the entire furnace, the furnace was burning beyond its capacity, and there was some indicators, and it was never reported to the management. Even it was not known even to that person who was a factory manager. Forget about manager. Even the factory manager was not knowing, because the maintenance department and other department who was actually handling it, he did not report. But what the hell are we doing, boss? अगर ये फट गया तो कल तो धंधा ही बंद हो जाएगा. रेपुटेशन रिस्क, बाकी तो तुम्हारे लीगल रिस्क, आगे कोई मर गया तो वो तो रिस्क अलग ही है. Then unrestrict your vendor location. If your major vendor or main vendor is facing some problem, he's not going to supply you rightly or in time. Then what would happen to your business continuity? What would happen to your operational continuity? So these are all questions to be asked. So this kind of event-based reports can be. So this is another assignment. Other value-added areas can be performance measurement system like KPIs, balance scorecard. We have done it for one organization of waste management company in Pune. So entire thing, because of the paucity of time, we are not able to discuss much on this. But every contribution toward profit drivers and improvements in the control will be welcomed by the client. ये मैंने जो नीचे लिखा है, ये आप इसको लिख के रखिए. This you put up to the client, and client will be definitely sit with you for discussion. So the time ahead is now, other than audit or along with audit, the agility and resilience in business, the consulting towards agility and resilience in the business. Resilience by means, I mean risk management, digitization and AI, and valuations. That means value enhancement strategy, strategic advisory, and preparing for IPO. This every person is definitely going to go and thinking of this kind of services from you. Correct? So how to cultivate the connections? We are coming to the last two laps. Make the client not a sale. Every satisfied client is the best business strategy. If he is rightly consulted, focus on client than the competition. Client service is not a department; it's a job. Client's perception is your reality. So if you can change your client's perceptions from auditor to consultant, that would be of definitely of help. So knowledge and application are the most powerful weapon you can use to brand your position in the profession. Luck is what happens when the preparation meets the opportunity, and we have seen many opportunities for today, right? Thanks for the very patient listening. I think whatever I was having with me, I have tried to deliver to the best of my abilities. I hope that you would take it in all spirit. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nitin sir. It's really a wonderful session. I really got a nostalgic for my 10 years past when I completed my CA finals, where I learned so many things, which you just discussed in your session. And really valuable, really valuable, sir.
Thank you so much.
Even when we started with our CA journey, we read all those concepts in the CA curriculum itself. In the MBA also, I am also MBA.
Oh, very
And
good.
so the main thing is when we started our CA profession, CA practice, we actually involved into those traditional practice only for the statutory audits and taxation and GSTs. But we fails to identify that there are so many areas involving the first thing which I loved it about your presentation, sir, your session, the communication with respect to capabilities as a chartered accountants. Yes, we have a lot of capabilities to do, providing value addition services to gain trust, absolutely. How to build a management information system, which I personally fails to do at my office. Now onwards, I will use this MIS reporting significance and importance of assessing deficiency in internal control systems, making internal control risk management charts, matrices, IC tools, evaluate the cost. So many things, sir. Thank you so much for giving so much value addition to all the participants. So there are four questions that is asked by members.
Okay.
So I think you have already covered all these topics, but in nutshell, sir, just address this question. So
Kindly,
question number one, which
kindly go ahead.
so, question number one, CAs are generally into accounting practices and taxation practices. How can we get into these services or these areas?
Okay.
So, yes.
Mrudulji, you have only answered my question. Whenever you are post my presentation, whatever you have discussed. See, we have all
Mhm.
studied all these things. We know accounts, we know audit, we know compliance, we know tax, we know strategic management, we know costing, we know operational management, we know strategic management, we know information system. So we have a bag of knowledge. It is
Right.
the bag of knowledge when it is going to get applied to the particular situation. There
Mhm.
lies an opportunity of getting into this kind of line. So
Correct, correct.
we already have it. We already have it. Only we need to think from that angle that this can be put up because we already have it. Only we need to put up to the client and make it right applications whenever we are actually carrying out the assignments.
Absolutely, Nitin, sir. So, second question that is asked by the members that you already covered in your session, how to pitch to clients for advisory services.
Yes,
So, pitching, we all understand we need to pitch, but the question is how to pitch,
correct.
how to get that, yes.
Yeah, actually, I'll tell you how I have done it. Whenever
Mhm.
because along with audit, I used to carry out many research. We are still doing research. We are continuing to do research. So I got to know about many of these kind of subjects only through research, and which are actually available outside India and all those things. So we are continuously into research, and then we have raised our capabilities. So once we raise our capabilities, once we develop our own capabilities, that should be only made known to the client that we have these capabilities. We have been doing this for another client. Maybe you may be telling it, you might not be even doing it, but you can do it if the client is giving you the assignment. So you can tell them. So if these capabilities are made known to the client, then 110% it has happened with me that they come out with बस एक दो तो नहीं पर तीसरा मेरे को चाहिए इसके ऊपर अपन काम करते So so that kind of assignments, those kind of assignments can come from that.
Right. So, third question has been asked is, do we need to take a separate qualification for business advisory services? Or CA is wholesome competent? Yes.
Fortunately, no, because as you rightly said,
Hmm.
CAs are very well competent, very competent. Only they need to focus. They need to change their focus from the traditional focus to some what is exactly. That is why we have discussed the enterprise concern. What any business
Hmm.
wants, strategic and operational level. If we can meet them, then their concern, no, definitely they will be after us. You will know. You won't have time. So plus we have FAFD and DISA qualification for that. Plus,
Absolutely.
otherwise there is no separate qualification which is required.
Correct. And the last question, this is my question, sir. What
Yeah,
is the 360-degree approach for an internal controls or for an internal audit, basically?
yeah. Actually,
As an step.
yes, sir. Actually, traditionally we have been doing internal audit only as a matter of sibling to statutory audit or whatever internal audit has been asked by management. You go and check inventory, you go and check the stock and check the only compliance and only do vouching and all those things just for the accuracy of accounting statements. But those days have gone. If we change our approach, because if one transaction can be seen from different angles, like from our accounting standard, auditing standard, then internal audit standard, then GST angle, then then income tax angle, then risk angle, then forensic angle, then cost analysis angle, then cost reduction angle, then your performance measurement angle, MIS angle, SOP angle, internal controls angle, IFC angle. So if we can include all these things into while scrutinizing one transaction, you are definitely likely to pick up some nonsense somewhere. Correct.
Mhm.
So this is the approach, which is a value-based consulting approach to internal audit. Correct.
Right.
I think I have answered correctly, and to the
Yes.
expectations of and to the satisfaction of your query.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Nitin sir, for your valuable time and
Yeah.
providing so much valuable insights related to other areas of specialization for a chartered accountant, sir.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much, Nitin sir.
So kind
And
of.
one last request, sir. You are a singer too. So I want to hear one line from your side and
Oh,
then we will wind up.
thank you. झुके झुके सी नजर बेकरार है कि नहीं दबा दबा सा सही दिल में प्यार है कि नहीं झुके झुके सी नजर दिल में प्यार रखिए थैंक यू
Yeah, बात है Nitin sir. Thank you so much. I think you should add this other area of specialization to your area.
थैंक यू सो मच
Thank you so much, Nitin sir. My name is Mridul Mehta, sir. Glad to meet you, sir.
ग्लैड टू मीट थैंक यू और
Thank you
शैला
so much, Mridul sir. Thank you so much, Nitin sir, for such a wonderful session. I hope we'll be connecting in future as well, sir.
सो काइंड ऑफ यू थैंक यू
Thank you. Thank you.
शैल आई लीव
Thank
नाउ
you.
Yeah, yeah.